What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. Didn't see this one coming. This would be a ballsy plan if true, but the more I think about this as a possibility, the more I think it might actually be something. Maybe not 100% the plan, but an unintentional consequence that Amazon would be all right with. And that, of course, is this. Former Epic Games executive suggests Amazon tank Warhammer with wokeness in order to purchase Games Workshop on the cheap. So obviously, it is what it is on the games side. And apparently, according to some people in my comments, it's been going woke for a while. The main hubbub here is the adding of females, the retconning of custodies when it was only men, and now it is female. And a lot of that was all boiled down to they're doing this ahead of the live action so that when Henry adapts it, he has to put female custodies. As has already been proven, there are plenty of other examples of women in Warcraft or equivalent factions. They didn't need to do this. So that was the prevailing theory. But here we have another one where, in addition to that, it's possible that with Games Workshop and Warhammer ruined by wokeness, Amazon would buy it up, and that way, when they do their live action, they would own all of the properties. That's how I'm squaring it. Former Epic Games business development manager Oleksiy Savchenko suggests that Amazon should tank Games Workshop and Warhammer with wokeness so that the company's stock price will tank and then buy the company on the cheap. But again, as we've also been hearing, the more we look into it, they've been doing this subtly for the last couple of years. The Custodes one was just the biggest, most obvious one. And then really the big thing about that is everyone, what do you care about a game? It's the gaslighting that was done and the retroactive, the revision, acting like, oh no, there have always been female custodies, even though based on their own lore, there weren't. They were always men. They were always the sons of like the nobles of Earth. And anyway, Savchenko shared his idea on X. If I was Amazon, I would continue applying pressure with TV series for lore changes, dismantle Games Workshop relationships with the fan base. And drop their price and just buy them pennies on the dollar and then launch TV faithful to lore. Just saying. I guess that's a strategy. Savchenko's comments come in the wake of Games Workshop retconning their Adeptus Custodes faction with a new female custodian, and then gaslighting Warhammer hobbyists and enthusiasts by claiming it's not a retcon and that there had always been female custodies. The retcon arrives in the upcoming Codex Adeptus Custodes, which, of course, I'm not going to read it again. You've read it. It's there. People won't be buying this one for sure. It'll be like D&D where they just ignore it and go back to other versions. And then, of course, that's the original gaslighting. Since the first of 10,000 were created, there have always been female custodians, directly going in line with already established canon, which, of course, thereby Grumps posting it, where they say that the men never leave Earth, and, of course, that they are the sons, they're a brotherhood of demigods, etc., etc. And this, yes, has led to the canceling of subscriptions. So already things are not going well. So if this is a tactic that he's suggesting that they use, well, it's sort of already happening on their own. All they need is to just give it a little push. The end result also, I still maintain that this is being done specifically because of Henry. Here we go. A rumor detailed that the retcon was done at the behest of Amazon MGM Studios for the company's upcoming live action series based in the Warhammer 40,000 world. The rumor, which was shared to 4chan by an anonymous user. And again, I know what you're saying, 4chan. Let's remember that the leaks for the Game of Thrones and for Rise of Skywalker came from 4chan. So yes, legitimate leaks can come from 4chan. A bunch of bullshit can also come from 4chan, but this is sort of tracking with everything else. That's why I go over it. Female custodies are going to be mentioned in the codex. No new sculpts or characters after the fact. Social media department jumped the gun and tried to put out fires with the wrong hose. The alleged leaker adds intent is to push female custodies characters in an Amazon show without it breaking lore, because Amazon execs wanted a woman in power armor and wouldn't settle for Sisters of Battle. People involved in the show are pissed because they've been moving ahead of Eisenhorn talks of inserting said female custodies into Eisenhorn's story, with Cavill threatening to walk away from the project. And that was at the time a small stock drop, which they did have. It's sort of meandering back and forth. Cavill will be in an article due to heading to. So basically, the whole point now is we don't know whether this is hyperbole or not, whether Cavill is going forward or not, whether this is a game changer. I don't think it is. I think he's a big enough fan that he might tank this hit, but boy, it would just be horrible to see another Witcher happen to him where he thinks it's going to be faithful to the lore, and then he ends up with people that continually want to change it and not be but also, and that's why they're changing it in the codex, so that they can see we're being faithful. Anyway, it's all been retconned. It really has reduced. The business desk reported, right, and this is also after we found out their CFO, whatever, she announced it, she sold the majority of her stocks. It's not looking good. Again, gaslighting your fans is never a good idea. Games Workshop has seen a decline in stocks of around 5%. So yeah, none of this is good. None of this is good for anyone. I definitely think one of the main reasons is 100% because of the TV show, and they wanted to give ground. So when Henry said, no, it's not in the lore, when people go, it's not in the lore, they go, look, yes, it is, even though we just added it at the last second. And this suggestion of doing this, of taking it with wokeness so that they could buy it for cheap, that seems to be happening all on its own. So yeah, let me know what you think of this. Make sure to like, share, and sub if you have done that. Thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. And
well, bye.